Good evening to all of you. Yesterday we discussed about this Indus Valley civilization, and I discussed so many reasons regarding the extinction of this civilization. One of them was Aryan's invasion theory. But let me tell you that this Aryan's invasion theory, the recent research have completely refuted it, because no any evidence regarding the war or any tool which makes eligible to the thing that no, Aryans fought with these in the people of Indus Valley civilization, and they got completely killed by them. So this thing is completely, you can say, null and void nowadays. The second theory, that is called the immigration of Aryans immigration. So these Aryans, from where they came, they, it depends which historian you are referring to. For instance, there is a very famous person whose name is James Prinsep. Okay, James Prinsep. He told about these Aryans that they immigrated to India from Europe. There is another person whose name is Bal Gangadhar Tilak. Bal Gangadhar Tilak told that the Aryans came to India from where? From North Pole. North Pole. Why Bal Gangadhar Tilak said this? Because in the scriptures which I will be discussing, like the Vedas, these 6 months nights and 6 months days are given, and it is only possible in the North Pole. By the way, it is also possible in South Pole, but I think in South Pole the people are comparatively less as compared to North Pole. That's why. So Bal Gangadhar Tilak told that these Aryans migrated to India from the North Pole. You take the perspective of Swami Dayanand. Swami Dayanand told that the Aryans came to India from Tibet region. You can also take the argument put forward by some of the nationalist historians. One among them is Dr. Kala from Kashmir. Dr. Kala from Kashmir, and all the people or all the historians who belong to this nationalist group, they believe that the Aryans did not come to India from anywhere. They were already living in India. And they put forward so many evidences, like the kind of climatic situation has been discussed within the Vedas, the kind of geography, environment, rivers, Punjab region, whatever have been discussed, they are very much related with the India itself. That's why we are not ready to give the credit of the Aryans to any other country. You can also take the example of a religious scripture called Avesta of Iran. There are some words, those are very much correlated. Those are given in our Vedas, like the word called actually in this language in Iran, this Avesta, they replace ha with sa. So if it is Hindu, they will call it Sindhu. So there is a word called Hepta Hindu, that is equivalent to the Sapt Sindhu, and Hindu is already Sindhu. So they are saying, the people who believe in this category, they are saying that these Aryans migrated from Iran, as they have this kind of a relationship or the linguistic relationship with the Irani scripture called Avesta, with our Vedas. But the most authenticated one, the most accepted version of the Aryans immigration theory is related to no one else but an historian called Max Muller. And he told that the Aryans came to India from Central Asia. So this Central Asian version of Aryans immigration theory nowadays is the most accepted one. So they come to India once the people of Indus Valley civilization got extincted, and they started occupying the places which were being occupied by the people of IBC by and large. The information about these Aryans which we get more and less is dependent upon the Vedas. And because of this kind of connectivity, we call that era as a Vedic era. And the time period is 1500 BC to 600 BC. By the way, it can further be divided in two parts. The one is early Vedic period and the later Vedic period. So as I have told you that the information related to this particular age is based upon the Vedas, that's why we call it Vedic age. Therefore, I will be discussing what are these Vedas and what kind of things are given within these Vedas, how they are significant in transforming the human life, and how they are impacting almost every angle of human existence. So, as far as the Vedas are concerned, the four Vedas are there: Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Sam Veda, and Athar Veda. So, the codification of Rig Veda happens, you can say, in the very starting of the 1500 BCE. And once the compilation of the Rig Veda, as Rig Veda is the oldest Veda, after that the rest of the Vedas were composed. So this time period when the Rig Veda was composed, or until the Rig Veda gets completely composed, by the way, some other parts of the same Rig Veda were also composed later on, but the majority of the portion of the Rig Veda was composed, you can say, in the initial phase of this time period. So you can say the development which happens till the period of the codification of the Rig Veda, that is known as the early Vedic period, and it can be categorized from 1500 BCE to how much? I think 1000, and the remaining one 1000 to 600. So this is the early Vedic period, and this is the later Vedic period. I have discussed one person, Swami Dayananda Saraswati. He gave a very famous slogan called "Return towards Vedas." So when he said "return towards the Vedas," his reference point was this early Vedic period. Because when I will discuss the society, the economy, and other parts of this Vedic religion, you will get to know that in this particular period, the social evils were almost absent. Like the child marriage was not there, and so many things were there. So when Swami Dayananda Saraswati is referring, he is referring this early Vedic period, but in a general sense we call it return towards the Vedas. So return towards the Vedas means returns towards the early Vedic period, not because by the time the society reaches to this time period, so many problems society comes in the contact. So as far as Rig Veda, it is the oldest one, and every Veda has four parts. The one is Samhita, Brahmana, Okay, the Brahmana is not denotifying to any particular individual, like Dr. Manohar Pandey, or he is not personifying any person. That is a different Brahmana. Sangita, Brahmana, Arandika, actually the spelling is somewhat
Yak, Y-A-K.
Y-A-K.
Aranyak.
Aranyaka or Aranyaka. So Samhita, Brahmaka, Aranyaka, and the last one is the Upanishad. So these are the four parts of the Vedas. Almost every Veda is categorized in these four parts. One Veda which lacks in terms of Aranyaka. Which one is that Veda which does not have any Aranyaka? Okay, you think over it. Alright, so the Vedas can be divided in four parts. Rig Veda is as far as concerned, so it has 128 hymns, which is known almost to every UPSC aspirants nowadays, as these kinds of questions have been completely stopped coming or asking by the commission in the examination. Okay, now the time has gone when which one was the oldest Veda or how many hymns were there. Okay, they have reached into a completely different level. But as these things are important in order to connect rest of the things, that's why I'm telling. So Rig Veda is divided in 10 mandalas. 10 mandalas. The most important mandala, by the way, every mandala has some sort of importance, but in exam point of view, I would say that there is one mandala in which the reference of Somras is given. Any idea which mandala is this in which the reference of Somras is given?
Ninth.
Yes, ninth mandala. Okay. Which one is that mandala in which the Das Raj war or Das Raj Yuddha is mentioned?
Triti.
No.
Fourth.
In the third mandala, the Gayatri mantra is given. Gayatri, you can remember it by the word 3. 3 stands for 3, and this is given in the third mandala. I think in 7th mandala, the Kanwa dynasty, the reference of Kanwa dynasty is given. Alright, so there are some other important mandalas as well, you can check by yourself. So this Rig Veda has been divided in 10 mandalas. Mainly the hymns, or you can say the mantras, are given. Those are recited in order to praise the god and goddess. As far as the Yajurveda is concerned, then the rituals which are performed while doing any kind of yagya is given within the Yajurveda. Samveda is devoted to what?
Song.
Yes, music. And the Atharva Veda is related to this magic spell. to get rid of the evil powers. So these magical things are given within this Veda. One more term which is used when we go through with the Vedic is that is called Vedanga. Vedanga, but one part is still remaining. Uh, and these four parts, the Sanghita is the most ancient, you can say, part of these Vedas, and within Samhita, the mantras are given. Within Brahmana, also the mantras are given, but these mantras are little bit simplified version of the mantras. Those are given within the Samhita because people started experiencing feeling problem while reciting them. The Arandakas, as the word Arandaka is equivalent or it is a synonym of the forest. So what was happening that there are four ashramas, the Vanprastha and sannyasa. So in sannyasa what happens that the person leaves his property and everything which is connected to this physical life and goes to forest. So and he becomes a monk. So these kinds of people who went to the forest, they wrote some of the scriptures. Those were known as Arandakas, which became the part of the Vedas. So these were written inside the forest, within the forest. That's why we call them Arandakas. These are the jungle books, you can say. Upanishads. These are the quite interesting one because I think being a UPSC aspirant, we should certainly. By the way, I mean, in Hinduism, these scriptures are hardly read by anybody. Anybody means a very minuscule proportion of the population goes. Whereas in other religion, people are people go through. For instance, if you talk about the person who follows Islam, he will certainly go for this Quran. In Sikhism, they also go. Recently the Guru Parv was celebrated in Bangla Sahib and across the whole country, even sometimes in out of the country as well, as a majority of the population lives in Canada. Two things are very famous outside India. The one is potato and the second is Punjabi. So what is given within the Upanishads? Any idea? What are these Upanishads? Look, there is no any ritual is given. They are completely philosophical in nature. If you want to develop a sixth sense, I would say you should certainly go to understand what is given within the Upanishads. The meaning of Upanishads, Up means very close and Nishad means to sit. So when a pupil was sitting very close to his guru and the guru was reciting him or giving him the knowledge, those knowledge was codified within the Upanishads. These Vedas and these four parts, they are placed within the Shruti. Shruti. Why Shruti? Because they were orally transmitted generation after generation. The second thing is called Smriti. These are based upon the memory. These are based upon the memory. So this Shruti and Smriti, these four parts and this Veda, they are the part of the Shruti. As far as the Smriti is concerned, so within Smriti you can place the things like Mahabharata, Ramayana, Saptanga, and many other things. You can say other than these things, these Shrutis sometimes they change according to time, but these things they never get changes. Whatever knowledge the human acquires in his life, that knowledge can be divided in two perspectives. I should have told this thing in my introduction of the class, but I am trying to connect it. The one knowledge which you learn through your experience. You know, the people who are living in stone age, they got to know, oh, tiger is a dangerous animal. How they learned it? Because they came in the contact of the tiger. We should not jump into the river, otherwise we may drown into it. The caste system, it was invented by us only. Or you should write, you should walk on the left side of the road. By the way, when you go to USA, you have to change the whole idea. Because in the vehicle, instead of left, they place the steering on the right side. Or whatever it is just opposite to India. What I want to tell you that this knowledge keeps on changing time to time. It depends upon the time. The another knowledge is which never changes. And why it never changes? Because this knowledge was not created by the human being. We perceived that knowledge. We perceived that knowledge. Yes, we can understand that knowledge and we can transform our life. But that knowledge was not created by us, and this knowledge can never get changes. So who created this knowledge? This knowledge, because it was not created by the human being, so certainly a different body should be there, and that body is known as the Apauruseya. Apauruseya. So these Vedas are the Apauruseya recited by a god, and later on they were codified by a person called Dwaypayan. Yes.
Krishna Dwaypayan.
Yes. So I want to make you understand that the one knowledge which is created by the human being and the another knowledge which was not created by the human being, we only perceived that knowledge. So who created that knowledge? That knowledge was created by the God, or you can say that knowledge was not created by human being. That was Apauruseya, and the things which are the part of that Apauruseya knowledge, they are the Vedas. Later on they were codified, so that's a okay. Because if you are writing the book on Manmohan Singh, so it does not mean the things related to Manmohan Singh you created. Manmohan Singh created the things or whatever he did in his life, you only wrote them in your language. So the knowledge has already been given by a different body, and it was codified later on. So these were the four parts of the Vedas, and yes, Vedanga, Vedangas are important to understand what? To understand whatever I have told you. I mean, if you want to understand in a very well and in a very easy manner, you need to understand the Vedanga. And these Vedangas are not the part of a Shruti, they are the part of the Smriti. They are the part of the Smriti. Vedangas are written in the form of the sutras, and there are 6 sutras. 6 sutras. Some of them, like the Shiksha. Any other? Jyotish,
Vyakaran.
Vyakaran, Kalp, Chand,
Chand.
and the last one is Nirukta. By the way, this kalpa can further be divided in two parts: the Kalpa Sutra or Graha Sutra. Okay, so these are the Vedangas. I'm telling you again, the Vedangas are the things which enables you to understand the Vedas and their four parts. They help you in reciting these Vedas and their four parts. You can comprehend them in a much better sense if you are going through the Vedangas first. It's these are the supporting text, you can say, to understand the Vedas and their four parts. Now the last thing I want to discuss that is related to the Upanishads. So as I have told you, these are the most significant part and the latest version of the Vedas. So what actually is given within the Upanishads? Once upon a time, what happens? There was a king. He has become quite old, and obviously he was a king. That time there was no democracy. That's why he was a king. So he thought that after me, who will take care of this whole empire? Having this kind of a worry into his mind, what he did, he sent it to his child. He had only one child. He sent it to his child, to a very famous guru at that time, the most knowledgeable guru that time, and his son went there and lived for 10 years. For what? To get the knowledge, to acquire the knowledge. After 10 years, when he returned to his father or his house, his father, the king, asked that, what have you learned? You spend 10 years of your life in Mukherjee Nagar, okay, not in Mukherjee Nagar, in forest. What have you learned? So his son told, in a very proud manner, that I know history, I know geography, I also know astronomy, I know mathematics, trigonometry. What I don't know? So his father told that, yes, I know, you know all those things. What do you know beyond all those things? So his son got confused that what is beyond all those things? Everything is within this. It's like, Sunil Paul, he asked that, do you know English? So he told, yes, I know, A to Z. What is outside this A to Z? So he told that, what is outside all these subjects which I have mentioned? So his son, his father, the king, told that, okay, you bring a glass of water. And he comes with a glass of water. The father or the king, he places a certain amount of salt within the glass. And after a minute, he asked to his son that, okay, you drink the water. The son drank the water. The king asked, how it is taste? How it tastes? He told, salty. So the king told, okay, you remove half of the water. Now you taste it. How it is? He told that, even more salty. Then the king told, okay, you remove again half of the water and taste the bottom one. Then they told that it is very, very salty. So the king told, or the father told, that I placed the salt on the top layer of the water, but it mixed with every particle of the water. It pervaded throughout the glass. His father wanted to tell him that there is one essence. The way this salt, which I placed on the top layer of the water, but what it pervaded everywhere, it got mixed with every particle of the water. in the same way there is one essence in this universe which is present in everything which is present in this universe. And you need to understand that essence, then you will understand what is the real meaning of your life. Because the king told that once you believe in this philosophy, that the whole universe, the essence of whole universe is same. The same essence which is within you, the same essence is within me. The same essence is within everything in this universe. And if you believe on this, then you tell me, will you kill somebody? Because if you are killing somebody, it means you are killing to yourself. Because the same essence is lying within you. Will you rob somebody? Because if you are robbing somebody, it means you are robbing to yourself. Will you molest somebody? You will not commit anything which is immoral and illogical because you don't want to get committed or be the part of these kinds of things in your life yourself. So this was the message which Father wanted to tell, that the whole universe has one single essence, and that essence is nothing else but that is the Brahmana. The philosophy given by Sankaracharya, Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya. So what is this Brahma? That king wanted to make his son understand. So this was, I just want to tell you that these kinds of things are given within the Upanishads. There are so many things. This was only one example. So that's how the son got a lesson which he could not understand in his last 10 years which he spent there. So that was as far as this Vedic age was concerned. We will be discussing the remaining things as the chapter is quite lengthier. We will be discussing how the society was, how the economy of this time was, and what kind of social evils were present, what are the artha, kama, moksha, and vanprastha, how Mahabharata is related, how Ramayana is related. So rest of the things we will be discussing in our coming lectures. Thanks for today. Namaskar.